Welcome to Devakshar. Namaskar. In continuation with the book How to Overcome Mental Tension by Swami Gokulanadaji Maharaj. We will today start the first chapter, Stress and the Body-Mind Complex. In modern society, there are different kinds of diseases and nervous tension can also be counted as one of them. But it is different from most other disease because there is no germ or virus causing it. It is the result of malfunctioning of the body-mind interaction. In other words, we can say that nervous tension is a psychosomatic disease in the true sense of the term. The word psyche means the mind and soma means the body. Nervous tension is the result of the way we have consciously or unconsciously chosen to live. When we speak of tension, we should understand that the primary need of the mind and the body is that the mental and physical functioning be regulated. Nervous tension is a kind of recurring imbalance resulting in the daily wear and tear of the body. The two aspects of it which we need to understand are how it occurs and how we give expression to it. It comes in different guises. It may take the form of emotional or mental stress, which is generated by our personality as it interacts with the environment every day. This can also be called social stress. In addition, there is another form of stress called the digestive stress. It is the tension which results due to our poor eating habits. Therefore, it would be a mistake to think that the causes of stress are merely external. It is not just at home or in the workplace, or that overwork alone causes stress. There are many other causes, for example, poor eating habits. Apart from these, we have another common form of stress called environmental stress in the present times. It may be the result of many factors such as smog, noise, and air pollution. Each of us, thus, has a psychophysical system in the body which reflects our state of mind through physical diseases. If we suffer from nervous tension, fatigue, or tremendous stress at the mental level, it is sure to come out in the form of aches and pains or more serious diseases such as hypertension, ulcer, stroke, cancer, heart attack, and others. In fact, the doctor and psychologists are strongly of the opinion that most diseases are closely linked with a state of sustained nervous tension which has become an invariable component of our daily routine. Sustained nervous tension is therefore a common phenomenon today. It stems directly from different kinds of frustration, worry, and despondency. Each day, we have to meet various forms of challenges at home, in our workplace, or even at play. These are in addition to the ordinary demands imposed on our mind and body by the process of living. The result of this is acute nervous tension, which shows itself in the form of impatience, anger, anxiety, or fear. If we take an unhealthy diet, or if we have habits of smoking, drinking, or an addiction to drugs, they too result in different kinds of tension. In short, we can say that we are living in a world of tensions. Even in the course of our routine work, we sometimes experience tension. Traveling by public transport or buying the necessities of daily life may also produce mental tension. For instance, we are on our way to the airport to catch a particular flight. On the way, the taxi or the scooter is held up due to traffic congestion or such other factors. This is bound to cause considerable mental tension. Technological advances, industrialization, and excess urbanization has given rise to situations which produce dangerous emotional strains. That is why disease such as asthma and hypertension have become so rampant. Also, people who suffer from such diseases take to drinking or consuming dangerous drugs in desperation. But their addiction cannot give them permanent relief. The temporary relief which they get has its own repercussions. They cause further and more serious problems which lead not only to psychosomatic but also psychiatric illnesses. In some extreme cases, to suicide also. The need is to search for a viable solution. In talking about nervous tension, we should never be pessimistic. By being optimistic, we can begin to look for the ideal situation. The first step to this will be when we wake up in the morning and feel fresh as a daisy and we have sufficient energy. For this, it is essential that we sleep well. If we have deep, undisturbed sleep, we can work hard the whole day without undue haste, agitation, or unnecessary excitement. We can work for long hours calmly and methodically. In the evening, we come back home with a feeling of natural tiredness. But this is not a problem because it can be cured by a good night's sleep. But such is not the case with everybody. In majority of cases, the natural fatigue is superseded by unbearable stress and tension. People are in the grip of constant tension because they have not mastered the way of working in a calm and methodical manner. We all work, but we do not know how to relax. We continue to work in such a way that tension increases. With the passage of time, it becomes progressively more difficult to get real peace of mind. As a result, we become worn out, exhausted, and often feel oppressed and irritable. The daily routine of such people becomes disagreeable as they have to put in much effort to do habitual jobs. Work becomes a drudgery. It is such people who often suffer from tremendous mental strain, fatigue, and bewildering changes of mood. Sometimes they become the victims of morbid ideas, subject to dejection, depression, and despondency. Whatever little energy they have is exhausted in this manner and they are reduced to inert objects. Their willpower also reaches the lowest ebb. They are unable to decide what has to be done the next day. The work which such people do the whole day is haphazard and unsystematic. The tremendous pressure under which they work does not allow them to do the job with the right spirit. They consider their tasks as drudgery and each day seems an unending torture. The only outcome of this attitude is an increase in mental tension. They become oversensitive and cannot even bear any sudden little sound. They are irritated even by the ringing of the telephone, the banging of a door, or the barking of a stray dog. They overreact in all such situations. The first step to overcome such acute mental tension is to understand the nature of stress and also to learn about the workings of human mind. The anatomy and psychology of mental tension has to be known clearly before it is removed. Maharaj says, let me illustrate this. Suppose a person is working in Delhi. He lives there happily with his family when his boss suddenly transfers him to Bombay or any other city. The problem is that he has an establishment here and he has to set up another in the new place. He is helpless and has to go. He worries about the admission of the children. He tries everywhere but does not manage to put the children in good schools. Since he is not a government employee, his children do not get admission in a central school and this creates further tension. He stays in Bombay for some time, say for a month, all the time undergoing acute mental agony. As a result, he falls a victim to some serious disease. Then there is the case of a demanding wife telling her husband that he has achieved nothing in life. Once I went to such a house where the husband was the only son in the family. He was a brilliant student. His wife told me, Maharaj, I am not happy. My husband was in England. He has many friends there. But my husband has done nothing to come up like them. We don't even have a car or a good house. She was complaining like this. Maharaj says, to help her, I invited the couple to the ashram, but the wife did not come more than once or twice, though the husband came many times. She was suffering from tremendous depression. The husband is well placed, a brilliant student of Calcutta University, and has a senior gazetted post at present. But to his wife, all this seemed inadequate. As against this illustration, let us now cite an example of an understanding wife. In 1992, Maharaj continues, I was in Frankfurt. I was the guest of a family of devotees staying there. They looked after me very well and took me in their car from Frankfurt to Geneva. They were very good people, a happy family with two nice daughters. After my return to India, I learned that the husband lost his job. I was terribly shocked. Fortunately, the wife was working, and in those places there is some provision to give an allowance to people who have no employment. The wife struggled to make both ends meet. She gave all the support to her husband by saying, Don't lose heart, dear husband. Better days will come. I am with you. I am earning and I shall be able to support the family. Some time later, I got a telephone call from the wife and she told me that her husband has found a good job. I was overwhelmed with emotion. The husband could obviously sustain the tremendous strain because of an understanding wife. What a contrast to the wife who makes her husband's life miserable. There are also cases of demanding husbands. Let me describe a typical case in Delhi. Here, both the husband and the wife were working. The wife soon began to earn more because of her sincerity and hard work. The husband became jealous. He wondered, why does my wife get more salary and why do I get less? He was suffering from an inferiority complex. Due to this, he began making unreasonable demands on the wife. If she came a little late, he demanded angrily, Why are you late? He often telephoned her office, which caused awkwardness and embarrassment. He was not at all understanding. As soon as she returned from office, he would order her, You must cook food for me at once. Suppose the next morning the wife had to leave early to office, the husband, who had an inferiority complex, said, Why are you going early? You have to iron my clothes. Such things are unpleasant but inescapable facts in some families. On the other hand, there is the case of an understanding husband. Maharaj says, I would like to give you a complete picture and not a one-sided picture. Therefore, it is essential to give this illustration. If both the husband and the wife have jobs and help each other in daily chores, it is ideal. If the husband comes from office, finds his wife tired, he does not mind taking over all the work in the kitchen, telling his wife, You take rest, you are tired. I am here to look after the children. I shall also cook for you and the other members of the family. In such a case, there are no tensions and misunderstandings in the house. Another aspect which has to be considered seriously is the impact of parental tensions on children. If there is no understanding between husband and wife in a family, it has an adverse effect on the children. Parents have to be extra careful so that they do not subject their children to the trauma of sharing and increasing agitation and worries of their parents. The present world is difficult for children in the normal course of things. They have to work very hard at school, they breathe polluted air, and when they come back home, they do not find a congenial atmosphere. The parents quarrel all the time, and this tells upon the nerves of the children. Maharaj is pointing out, I have quoted these instances to show you the kinds of people who are susceptible to nervous tension. But the aim is not to be pessimistic and give way to depression. What we have seen till now is the darker side of stress. But there is also the other side of the coin. Nervous tension can bring some benefits and advantages. It is up to us to know how to use nervous tension to our best advantage. This is what Swami Gokulanadaji will discuss in the next session of this same chapter, Stress and the Body Mind Complex. So, till then, stay tuned to Devakshar, subscribe to our channel, like and share the video. Thank you so much for watching Devakshar.